What's happening, guys? SupaNova here, back with another video. Ladies and gentlemen, the Game Awards is this Thursday. I'm incredibly hyped for the Game Awards, as I am every year. And I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube of people basically just going over their votes for each of the categories. And I figured, fuck it, let me throw my hat in the ring as well. So this is going to be a video about what my votes are going to be for each of the categories at this year's Game Awards. Before we get into it, just a reminder, guys, this channel is not monetized by YouTube. What does that mean? That means I don't make any money from any of the videos I make on this platform. Yes, that is correct. I've got over 2.5 million views on this channel and haven't made a single cent from any of it. So if you would like to support me and this channel monetarily, you can do so by sending donations via either Cash App or Venmo, or becoming a patron on Patreon. There are multiple tiers available, including a $1 tier. And with all that bullshit out of the way, let's get into the video. So I'm going to start at the bottom of the list of categories and then slowly work my way up to Game of the Year. I'm going to tell you right now, though, these first couple of categories about esports, look, if you watch a lot of esports and you're into esports and you know who the fuck these people are, great. But if you're looking for what I would vote when it comes to these categories, I'm telling you right now, I'm skipping over this shit because I don't watch esports, I don't care about esports, I don't give a fuck about esports.
Trisha, this song is for you. I don't fuck with you. You little stupid ass bitch, I ain't fucking with you. You little dumb ass bitch, I ain't fucking with you. I got a million trillion things that I'd rather fucking do.
Alright, fuck it. That's what we're doing? Alright.
Than to be fucking with you. Little stupid ass, I don't give a fuck, I don't give a fuck, I don't give a fuck, bitch. I don't give a fuck about you or anything that you do. Don't give a fuck about you or anything that you do.
And I honestly have no fucking idea who these people are. It's going to be very similar when it comes to Content Creator of the Year. I don't know who the fuck these people are, okay? Like, I make YouTube videos, but I don't live on YouTube. I don't know who the fuck these people are. So, for the esports categories and then for the Content Creator of the Year, especially since yours truly is not nominated, because that'll ever fucking happen, I'm going to have to skip those categories. So, just letting you guys know. And the first category up is Most Anticipated Game. I'm also going to read the Game Awards descriptions for these categories, because I think reading that description can kind of shift where you would be or what game you would choose. And there was a couple where I was like, okay, yeah, this game. And then after reading the description and saying, oh, okay, if that's what they're actually looking for this category, then it would actually be this game instead, if that makes sense. So for the first category of Most Anticipated Game, this is recognizing an announced game that has demonstrably, I like that word demonstrably, has demonstrably illustrated potential to push the gaming medium forward. And the nominees are, feel like I'm at the Academy Awards, right? And the nominees are Final Fantasy 16, Hogwarts Legacy, Resident Evil 4, Starfield, and The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Now let me work through this list and tell you what I'm thinking. I'll tell you right now, for me, Final Fantasy 16 is already out. I know there's a lot of people that love the Final Fantasy games, and I do too, but not all of them. Like, I played Final Fantasy 7 Remake way back on the PS1. I loved it. I loved the remake. But the rest of the Final Fantasy games, I just really can't get into, really don't play. So for me, personally, Final Fantasy 16 is out. Resident Evil 4 Remake, listen, I didn't play Resident Evil 4 on the GameCube. I played it a couple years ago when they had the remastered version that you could get on current-gen consoles. And I played it. And I gotta be honest, and I know I'm probably in the minority here, but I think Resident Evil 4 is overrated shit. I did not like Resident Evil 4. I didn't finish Resident Evil 4 because I didn't like it. I honestly hated the leap from zombies to the Las Plagas. I didn't like the controls. It was just, for me, Resident Evil 4 was not that great. I'm sure the remake is going to be cool, because Resident Evil 2 Remake was fucking amazing, but Resident Evil 3 Remake, not so much, so who knows what's going to happen there. But for me, Resident Evil 4 also is going to be off the list here. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I liked Breath of the Wild, but I think The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is an incredibly, and I do mean incredibly, overhyped game. I enjoyed Breath of the Wild, but people talking about, oh, it's the most beautiful open world we've ever seen. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? The art style is cool. I enjoy the art style. But the most beautiful open world we've ever seen, the best open world we've ever seen, it's a giant empty world devoid of life with pockets of shit to do here or there. The dungeons are the best part of Breath of the Wild, and I loved all the dungeons and the puzzles, but the actual open world, the things that people fucking jerk off about when they talk about the game, for me, is not that great. Tears of the Kingdom looks cool. I like the mechanics of being able to rewind time and shit. It's got some Prince of Persia action going on, right? It looks cool, but it is not going to be my most anticipated game, although it is one I will definitely be picking up. So now it is between Starfield and Hogwarts Legacy. And I gotta be honest, when I first heard about Starfield, I was hyped and excited because I love the Elder Scrolls games, I love the Fallout games, and I was like, yo, if this is the Elder Scrolls or Fallout, but just in space with guns and aliens, dude, I'm on board for that. I love the way the Elder Scrolls and Fallout games play. So I was excited for Starfield even before we had seen anything about it. After seeing the gameplay for Starfield, my hype for the game has kind of taken a hit, right? That gameplay reveal did not look that great, and I don't know what it was about it, but I was watching and I was just like, yeah, it's just not doing it for me. I'm still excited for the game. I'm still gonna, play the game. It's on Game Pass, so I don't even have to fucking buy it. But my hype levels for the game are not as high as the one that I would choose to be the winner here, which is Hogwarts Legacy. And listen, I'm not a massive Harry Potter fan. I have seen all the movies. I did read the first book, but I'm not a massive Harry Potter fan. Like, I don't know all the characters' names or any of that shit, right? But I do love the world that they created in the movies. And I have been to Universal Studios, both in Orlando and in Hollywood, many, many times. And they have the Wizarding World at Universal Studios. And I will tell you right now, the Wizarding World, especially in Orlando, is probably my most favorite place in the entire fucking world. Because you are just fully immersed in the world of Harry Potter. And again, I'm not a huge fan of all of the movies, right? I don't know all the characters' names and shit. I don't know, but I just love that world and how it looks and the sounds and the music, the wonderful music composed by the greatest film composer in the history of the fucking world, Mr. John Williams, who I am sad to say is going to retire after composing the music for this newest Indiana Jones movie. The man is a fucking legend. But all that shit combined, I love that world. And going to the Wizarding World, it's just, you're fully immersed in that world, and it's a very magical experience. And the idea of being able to do that in the video game, and seeing how the video game works, I don't know, I think that Hogwarts Legacy is going to be fucking awesome. I don't know about you, and for me, that is my most anticipated game. Mostly because I love that world. I love the way that they created that world and the way that that world looks and feels and sounds. So I'm excited to explore that world and explore Hogwarts in virtual form. So for me, most anticipated game, easily Hogwarts Legacy, and I hope that it does not disappoint. Next up is Best Adaptation. And this is recognizing outstanding creative work that faithfully and authentically adapts a video game to another entertainment medium. The nominees here are Arcane League of Legends, Cyberpunk Edgerunners, The Cuphead Show, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and Uncharted. I'll tell you right now, The Cuphead Show I've never seen, so that's going to be off the list right away. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, I really enjoyed that movie. Both Sonic the Hedgehog movies were a lot better than I thought they were going to be. And I think if you're a fan of video games and a fan of Sonic the Hedgehog, that those movies are great. Especially if you have kids. They're fun movies, and I did really enjoy them. But not going to be the best adaptation for me. Uncharted? Fuck no. Fuck no. Fucking, I don't even know why it's on here. Best adaptation? They can take that movie and stick it up their ass, okay? I don't care. Listen. Alright, listen. It wasn't a terrible movie. It wasn't a bad movie. It just wasn't an Uncharted movie. Why? Because Tom Holland is not Nathan Drake. No matter how he tries, he's not Nathan Drake. And Mark Wahlberg as Sully? Bitch, please! Mark Wahlberg is Mark Wahlberg in everything he's in. He can only do two things. Turn the Boston accent up, turn the Boston accent down. That's it. And he didn't even try to act like Sully in this movie. Right? This was a case of, instead of Hollywood saying, okay, let's do auditions and find the best actor to portray these iconic video game characters. Instead, they went, we need big names. Big names will sell this movie. We don't give a shit if they look like the characters. We don't give a shit if they sound like the characters. We don't give a shit if they act like the characters. We need big names to put on the posters. The big names will sell the tickets. Ha-ha! Big names! Typical Hollywood suit bullshit, right? That's Uncharted. None of the characters in that movie feel like the characters. Chloe is the closest one, and even she doesn't really feel like Chloe. So Uncharted, fuck you. I don't even know why you're on this list to begin with. Now, Cyberpunk Edgerunners and Arcane League of Legends. I will start off by saying I didn't play any of the League of Legends games, so I don't know exactly how faithfully that's adapting the source material, but I did play Cyberpunk, so I'm just kind of throwing that out there. Now, I think these were both amazing shows. Amazing, what the fuck? Amazing shows, right? I recommend Cyberpunk Edgerunners to anyone who's looking for a good animated show, and same thing with Arcane League of Legends. They are both amazing. Edgerunners, for me, immersed me in the Cyberpunk world in the way that I wished the game did. That fucking broken, unfinished piece of shit that CD Projekt Red released to us, Edgerunners did for me what that game should have. And it did it in a great way, with a great story, with lots of great action. Edgerunners is just a fantastic show. But for me, not even close. Arcane League of Legends is easily the best show on this list. Again, I don't know if it is the best adapted material, right? Because this is saying that it's recognizing outstanding creative work that faithfully and authentically adapts a video game. I don't know how faithfully it is adapting the source material, because I've never played League of Legends. But man, I still gotta tell you, Arcane League of Legends is a fucking awesome show. And the animation style is just, when I'm watching it, I can't take my eyes off of it. The story is amazing. The action is amazing. The acting is amazing. I'm super hyped for whenever the second season, the inevitable second season, launches. So for me, on this list, all day, every day, it's got to be Arcane League of Legends. Next category is Best Debut Indie. And this is for the best debut game created by a new independent studio. The nominees are Neon White, Norco, Stray, Tunic, and Vampire Survivors. I'm going to be honest, I've only played one of the games on this list, which is Stray. So if I had to choose, it would be Stray. Not because I thought it was anything special, but because it is the only game on the list I have played. I'm not a really big indie game player. I usually play more of the big AAA games. That's why I game for those big blockbuster experiences. But I did play Stray, and so that would be my choice, simply because I didn't play anything else. So that's that. Next up is Best Multiplayer. We've got for outstanding online multiplayer gameplay and design, including co-op and massively multiplayer experiences, irrespective of game genre or platform. The nominees are Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Multiversus, Overwatch 2, Splatoon 3, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Splatoon 3, never played, off the list. Fuck out of here. Never played it. Multiversus, for me, big fucking disappointment. Smash Bros. Wannabe, but clearly with that, we're gonna have microtransactions built into it. Bullshit. With a battle pass and all that nonsense. So for me, Multiversus can kick fucking rocks. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge was a fun game, but best multiplayer, I don't think so. Even though it was fun and it gave me those nostalgia feels, although I don't know why the sprites they chose for, well, technically not sprites, but the character models they chose for the game were like, the proportions were off. I don't know. But yeah, it was fun, but best multiplayer, I don't think so. For me, it would be between Overwatch 2 and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. And I hate to say this because this franchise for me has been getting more boring and more boring every year, but I think the winner here would be Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, mostly because of the DMZ mode, because I'm not a big online competitive shooter gamer. I was when I was younger, but as an older gamer, because I know I sound young and I feel young at heart, I am 37 years old, so as an older gamer, I'm at this point in my life more into games with, you know, really interesting narratives and characters and compelling stories, and you know, that's what I'm interested in. So I don't play a lot of online competitive shooters, and I hate games where you hop in and you're in there for 30 seconds and then you get killed and now you gotta fucking wait and there's nothing to do. The DMZ mode is cool because you drop in with your friends and it's a large open world, yes, filled with some other real players, but also a lot of NPCs. And it feels more like hopping into an open world and cooperatively playing through a game. Then, oh, we're gonna do team deathmatch and you fucking just hop in and get killed instantly and then there's nothing to do. It just, for me, is more fun than the regular Battle Royale shit. So for me, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, just because of DMZ, but honestly, still, I say fuck that franchise. It's been getting more and more boring every year. They really need to do something to make that franchise interesting for me. I hate that the campaigns are getting shorter and shorter, because that's what I play those games for, is for the campaign. So this DMZ thing, I would really like to see something like that expanded going forward, and in the next Call of Duty to have more time put into that, and have more missions and more things to do. I think that DMZ mode, I think that's a winner. And if they just tweak some things and make some changes and add some things to it, that can be a really awesome mode and a really great selling point for that game. Not that it needs anymore, because it's always the best selling game every fucking year, but a selling point for me. So yeah, best multiplayer game, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Next up is Best Sports/Racing, and it's for the best traditional and non-traditional sports and racing game. The nominees are F1 2022, FIFA 23, NBA 2K23, Gran Turismo 7, and Ollie Ollie World. I'm going to tell you right now, I have not played any of these fucking games. I don't know what the fuck Ollie Ollie World is, so that's immediately off the list. F1 22, I don't really like F1 games, so that's off the list. FIFA 23 and NBA 2K23, fuck both those games. Games like that and Madden that release a new one every fucking year where it's the same as the last one and it's just a roster update. I have zero respect for those games. They can eat a bag of dicks with extra sauce. I don't know what the sauce is, but fuck them, they get extra. Because these are games that should release every 4 to 5 years with actual improvements, and there should be free roster updates for the in-between years, but no, they're a bunch of greedy motherfuckers, so like I said, fuck them, bag of dicks with extra sauce. Here, enjoy, bon appetit, cocksuckers. GT7 is the winner, even though I haven't played any of the games on this list, and if you got a problem with that, guess what? I don't give a shit. Look, empty my right pocket, nothing. Empty my left pocket, nothing. I got no shits to give you, so I don't give a shit, and for me it's going to be GT7. Next up is Best Sim/Strategy, the best game focused on real-time or turn-based simulation or strategy gameplay, irrespective of platform. Nominees are Dune Spice Wars, Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, Total War Warhammer 3, 2 Point Campus, and Victoria 3. Again, I haven't played any of these fucking games. For this one, I would honestly just fucking spin a wheel with the names on it, and whatever the wheel chose, that's what I would pick, because unlike the last category, where even though I hadn't played those games, at least I knew what those games were, right? Like, I didn't play GT7, I didn't play NBA 2K23, but I know what those games are. I know what they look like, I know what they play like. These games, I have no fucking idea, so whatever the wheel chooses is whatever the wheel chooses. And, I ran the names through the same program I use to pick my winners for when I do giveaways, and Dune Spice Wars is what came up, so Dune Spice Wars, I guess. Moving on. Next up is Best Family Game. This is for the best game appropriate for family play, irrespective of genre or platform, and the nominees are Kirby and the Forgotten Legend, Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, Nintendo Switch Sports, and Splatoon 3. Once again, I have not played any of these games, but I am familiar with the games and what they look like and how they play, and if I had to choose one, I would choose Kirby and the Forgotten Land. I think that is a very fun-looking game. And the reason I'm choosing it is because I have a 7-year-old nephew, and if I had to pick one of these games to play with my nephew, I think Kirby would be the one that I would choose, so that's what I'm choosing for this category. Next up is Best Fighting. For the best game designed primarily around head-to-head combat, DNF Duel, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R, King of the Fighters 15, Multiverses, and Seafood. Did I fucking say seafood? Fucking seafood. I meant Sifu, not seafood. So yeah, I've only played some of the games on this list, and by some I mean two. One is Multiverses, which I think is a dog shit game, so that's immediately off the list. The other one is Sifu. I did play Sifu. I think Sifu's a great game. I have not played the other games, so I would choose Sifu just because that's the one I played. And I honestly think the combat in Sifu is amazing. It is an incredibly fun game to play. And the combat is just so fluid and fun. And when you're beating dudes up, it feels good. So I would choose Sifu, even though I have not played the other games. Next category is Best Role-Playing Game. For the best game designed with rich player character customization and progression, including massively multiplayer experiences. And the nominees are Elden Ring, Live Alive, whatever, Pokemon Legends Arceus, I don't know how to pronounce that, Triangle Strategy, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I've only played one of the games on this list, but even if I hadn't played it, let's be real, Elden Ring is clearly the winner here. I don't think anyone thinks any of these other games is winning this category, right? Like, there is a snowball's chance in hell of any game other than Elden Ring winning this category. Again, I haven't played those other games, but I don't think it fucking matters. Elden Ring is handily going to win this one, and it is my choice for Best RPG. Best Action/Adventure. For the best action/adventure game, combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving. And the nominees are A Plague Tale Requiem, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and Tunic. Now, I've played every game on this list with the exception of Tunic. I hear Tunic is fantastic, but I have not played Tunic, so off the list, Tunic goes. Listen, Stray was a cool game, but best action adventure game? No. No, sir. I don't know why the fuck it's even in this category. Stray, you can take a seat in the corner there. Thanks for playing. Thanks for showing up. But just go sit in the corner while the big boys talk, okay? Thank you. A Plague Tale Requiem, God of War, Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West. These are the only ones I think honestly have a chance of winning this category. I'll be honest, the Plague Tale Requiem, it's an okay game. Even the first Plague Tale, I played the first Plague Tale. They're okay games, but they're nothing amazing, right? The people that hype up this shit, they are decent games, right? As far as I'm concerned, the Plague Tale games aren't even close to the level of a God of War or a Horizon game. They're not. And if I hear the fucking name Anicia again, I will fucking murder someone because that little kid, all he does is go, Anicia, or Amicia, whatever the fuck her name is. He says it fucking 5 billion times. It's fucking annoying. But again, they're not bad games. They're just not on the level of a God of War or Horizon. So for me, it's between those two. And honestly, between those two, I think it's easily God of War Ragnarok. Like God of War Ragnarok, I don't think there's a chance of any of these other games winning. I think it's God of War Ragnarok. Like what else would it be, right? Like just like with Elden Ring and RPG, like it's Elden Ring. These other games are on the list just because they needed to put other games on the list. But it's Elden Ring. For Best Action Adventure, like these other games are on the list just because they had to put shit on the list. But let's be honest, this fucking God of War Ragnarok all day, every day, bada bing, bada boom, capiche? And if anything else wins, I will be fucking shocked. Listen, I'm a paraplegic. I cannot walk. I severed my spinal cord in 2014. If anything besides God of War Ragnarok wins this category, I will stand up and run around my house. That's how sure I am that God of War Ragnarok is winning this shit. So, yeah, God of War Ragnarok, on to the next category. The next category is Best Action Game, and this is for the best game in the action genre focused primarily on combat. And the nominees are Bayonetta 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, I'm not sure why this is on this list, Neon White, Sifu, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Again, I don't know why Call of Duty's here, because, in my opinion, Call of Duty is not an action game. It's a first-person shooter. Like, that should be its own genre. It should be best shooter, not best action game. Is there action in it? Yes, I mean, maybe that's why it's here. Just I don't know. For me, I don't think it should be on this list, but it is. But it doesn't matter because I don't think it's the best action game. I did not play Neon White, so that's also off the list. Sifu is great, but off the list it goes. It would be between Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge and Bayonetta 3, and I think if you've played a Bayonetta game, you know that it's got to be Bayonetta. Bayonetta easily has the better action, but I could see a case where Call of Duty wins, especially because part of the criteria for who wins is based on our votes, and there's a lot of people that play Call of Duty and a lot of people that love it, so I could see a case where Call of Duty wins, but for me, I would think that it would be Bayonetta 3, and that's what I'm choosing, is Bayonetta 3. Next category is Best VR AR, for the best game experience playable in virtual or augmented reality, irrespective of platform. And the nominees are After the Fall, Among Us VR, Bone Lab, Moss Book 2, and Red Matter 2. I gotta be honest, right now I do not have a VR platform. I had the original PSVR, but sold it after about a year because I realized it's not quite there yet. Like, the tech is almost there, but not quite there yet. And the games were less games and more just little experiences. It just needed to bake a little more on the oven, but I'll tell you, I got my fucking PSVR 2 pre-ordered, and I am hyped as fuck for February to get here so I can play with that fucking thing. Even though I don't have a VR platform at this moment, I have seen most of these games in VR, and I'll tell you right now, it's got to be Bone Lab. Bone Lab is one of the coolest fucking games I've ever seen, and the things that you can do in it, it looks like it's incredible fun, and I don't know if they announced if it's coming to PSVR or not, but I would hope that Bone Lab would be coming to PSVR too, because from what I've seen of Bone Lab, it looks fucking awesome. It looks like so much fun, so easily for me, if I had to choose, it would be Bone Lab, even though I've not played any of these games. Next up is innovation in accessibility, recognizing software and/or hardware that is pushing the medium forward by adding features, technology, and content to help games be played and enjoyed by an even wider audience. And the nominees are As Dusk Falls, God of War Ragnarok, Return to whatever the fuck the rest of that shit is, I can't read it, The Last of Us Part 1 remake, and then The Quarry. This is probably going to go to God of War Ragnarok. With these PlayStation first-party games, recently they've been doing this thing where they've just been adding a lot of accessibility features and kind of one-upping one another. And I'm pretty sure when God of War Ragnarok launched, there were just article after article talking about how extensive its accessibility features are. And I don't really remember anything about these other games being written, talking about the features it has. So for that reason, I would go with God of War Ragnarok, just because, like I said, I've seen all these articles talking about how extensive its accessibility features are. So God of War Ragnarok is what I would choose for this one. Next up is Best Community Support, recognizing a game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness, inclusive of social media activity and game updates / patches. I'll tell you right now, I have no fucking idea. The nominees are Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and No Man's Sky. I have no idea how well these games communities, interact with the games, or how well they're updated or patched or whatever. If I had to pick one of these games, I would say it's probably going to be between Apex and Fortnite. That's just me kind of guessing. If I had to guess who was going to win, I would guess Fortnite, just because their updates are so frequent. Like, Fortnite gets updates constantly and new content constantly. Versus these other games, the sheer quantity in terms of updates and content it gets is just way more than the other games. So for that reason, I would say Fortnite, even though I honestly have no clue. So, yeah, Fortnite's what I would go with. And Fortnite is who I think is going to win. Next up is Best Mobile Game, for the best game playable on a mobile device. And the nominees are Apex Legends Mobile, Diablo Immortal, Genshin Impact, Marvel Snap, and Tower of Fantasy. And I'm not even going to pick one, because I honestly don't give a fuck about mobile gaming. I don't like mobile gaming. I think mobile gaming is responsible for some of the worst trends in traditional gaming. So, fuck mobile gaming. I don't play games on my phone because I play real games at my home. And to quote Tyrone Magnus, that rhymes, don't hate the player, hate the game, bars! So yeah, I don't like mobile gaming, so I'm not even going to pick one. So fuck this category. Next up is Best Indie, for outstanding creative and technical achievement in a game made outside the traditional publisher system. And the nominees are, Jesus Christ, I can't speak today. The nominees are Cult of the Lamb, Neon White, Sifu, Stray, and Tunic. I have not played Tunic, but I hear it's fantastic, but that's off the list since I haven't played it. Cult of the Lamb, haven't played it. Neon White, haven't played it. So for me, it would be between Sifu and Stray, and I think Sifu is the better game. So for me, this would be Sifu. Next up is Best Ongoing, awarded to a game for outstanding development of ongoing content that evolves the player experience over time. And the nominees are Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and Genshin Impact. Again, I'm going to have to go with Fortnite on this one. I haven't played any of these games. I take it back. I've played Apex Legends a little bit. I've played Destiny 2 a lot when it first came out. I played Genshin Impact a little bit. I've never played Fortnite, and I never will play Fortnite, but I know when compared to the other games, it gets updates far more frequently than these other games. So I think I can't feasibly think of a situation where any of these other games would win specifically for this category, because Fortnite just gets updates far more regularly, and it gets new content far more regularly than any of the other games on this list. So for that reason, I would go with Fortnite, even though I fucking hate that game, and I hate what that game has done for gaming. Just like with mobile gaming, how I think the mobile gaming is responsible for a lot of the worst trends we're seeing in traditional gaming. I think Fortnite is the same thing. Because of the success of Fortnite, you have all these developers trying to be the next Fortnite, and instead of making a good fucking game, they're trying to make a Fortnite clone because they think that it's going to be a money printing machine like Fortnite. And 99.9% of the time, they fail and they're shit games because instead of focusing on making a great game, they're focusing on making a Fortnite clone. And Fortnite is responsible for a ton of dog shit games that we've gotten from many different publishers and developers. But still, regardless of my feelings towards Fortnite, I think it wins this category. Next is Games for Impact. For a thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message. Honestly, I think this is the dumbest fucking category. This is the fucking woke SJW category, but the nominees are Memoir Blue, As Dusk Falls, Citizen Sleeper, Endling Extinction is Forever, Hindsight, and I Was a Teenage Exo-Colonist. I haven't played any of these fucking games. I have no desire to play any of these fucking games. I don't give a fuck if the game is pushing gay people or fucking trans people or whatever the fuck social messages pushing. I'm not interested in social messages. This is the fucking foo-foo sissy faggot category.
What are you, a fag?
Oh my god, did he say faggot? Yeah, I did. I don't care. Fuck out of here. What are they gonna do? Demonetize my channel? It's not monetized anyway. What are they gonna do? Delete my channel? This is a hobby, not my job. I don't give a fuck. Fuck this category. Fuck all the games in this category. Do not give a shit. And if that offends you, listen, this ain't the channel for you because I don't care about offending people. I say what I mean what I say. When I say shit, it's raw and unfiltered, and if you don't like it, fucking bounce. You don't have to watch my videos. There's a billion other fucking channels to watch. Click on something else. This is not the channel for you, homeboy. So fucking bounce. Deuces, kick fucking rocks. I play games for stories, compelling narratives, characters. I'm not interested in social fucking messages or social agendas or politics that's injected into the games. I'm not interested in that shit. Anytime people try to inject their social agendas or their social messages into things like games, movies, or TV shows, they end up fucking sucking. Keep that shit to yourself. I'm not interested in it. Moving on. Alright, here we go. Getting to the good shit. Got my Birdman hands going because we're getting to the good categories. Best Performance. Awarded to an individual for voice, overacting, motion, and or performance capture. And the nominees are Ashley Birch for Horizon Forbidden West, Charlotte McBurney for A Plague Tale Requiem, Christopher Judge for God of War Ragnarok, Manon Gage for Immortality, and Sonny Suljic for God of War Ragnarok. And I never played Immortality, so I'm sorry, Manon, which is a weird fucking name anyway, but I'm sorry, Miss Gage, you're off the list. I have played the other games, and listen, the girl from A Plague Tale, she does a decent job, but she isn't anywhere near to the level of Horizon or God of War, so A Plague Tale, off the list, bye-bye. Sonny Suljic does a good job as Atreus / Loki, but I don't think he does as good a job as Ashley Birch or Christopher Judge, so I would say Sonny Suljic, even though I loved his performance, he's off the list. It's between Christopher Judge and Ashley Birch. It's between Kratos and Aloy, and I have to say, for me, this is Christopher Judge all day, every day. I mean, I thought he should have won when he went up against the dude that voices Arthur Morgan for Red Dead Redemption 2. He didn't win then. Here's his chance to win again here, and I honestly think that it's his to lose, man. He did such a fantastic job in God of War Ragnarok. And I'm choosing him because I'm basing my decision rather on who made me feel the most shit, right? Like, when I was playing these games, it was Christopher Judge's performance that made me feel the most things, made me feel the most emotions. So for that reason, I'm going to go with Christopher Judge. I think it is his to lose, and I really do hope that he wins because I think both in 2018 and in God of War Ragnarok, but especially in Ragnarok, he did an exceptional job, and I would love to see him celebrated for it. on a national stage. So I hope Christopher Judge wins this category. Next category is Best Audio Design, recognized for the best in-game audio and sound design. And the nominees are Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Gran Turismo 7, and Horizon Forbidden West. I didn't play GT7, so that's immediately off the list. I know Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 has some great sound design, especially when it comes to the weapons. But for the overall world, I don't know. So I think Call of Duty takes a back seat here. Horizon, God of War, and Elden Ring. Man, all three of these are great. All three of these have fantastic audio design. Fuck, man, this is a hard one because they're all great, but they're all different, and I don't know what would make one better than the other. You know, like they're all fucking fantastic. What would it be that would make one better than the other? I honestly do not know. This for me is a three-way tie between Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, and Horizon Forbidden West. Is that a bit of a cop-out? Sure, but honestly, I don't know what would put one over the other, or what specific thing you would have to look at. They would say, oh, this one is so much better than the others, right? They're all three of them fantastic, and all three of them some of the best sound design I've ever fucking heard, ever. So, three-way tie for these games. Is that a bit of a cop-out? Sure, but like I said, like what specific thing would put this one over that one? Like what would you have to look at specifically to say, oh, this one's better? I don't know, okay? So for me, it's a three-way tie. I think all three of these games have exceptional sound design, and all three of them are examples of some of the best sound design in the industry, period, full stop. Best Score and Music. For outstanding music, inclusive of score, original song, and or licensed soundtrack. And the nominees are Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War, Ragnarok, Metal Hellsinger, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I didn't play Xenoblade Chronicles 3. That may have fantastic music, but for me, off the list because I haven't played it. Metal Hellsinger has some great songs, but let's be real, I mean, it's just metal music. And I love metal music. I'm a fan of all kinds of metal music. That's like if a fucking Guitar Hero game came out and then it was on this list. And it's like, well, yeah, it's got great music, but it's just licensed music. They're just fucking regular songs. So for me, even though I love metal music and I like a lot of the songs in the Metal Hellsinger soundtrack, for me, that doesn't really count, okay? I'm looking for the actual scores and themes made for this game. So for me, it's going to be between the other nominees, Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, and God of War Ragnarok. I'm going to be honest, Plague Tale Requiem, I don't think the music in that game is that great. I'm not sure why it's on this list. Now, Elden Ring and God of War Ragnarok, they both have fantastic music. Elden Ring, especially when you get in boss fights, fucking awesome music. But for me, man, it's got to be God of War Ragnarok. And I choose that game because God of War Ragnarok's music and its themes, that God of War theme, it makes me feel something, right? The Elden Ring music is great, but the God of War Ragnarok music and the way it's tied to the game, Bear McCreary's themes and scores that he made for this game, they actually make me feel something. And I honestly love the music in both God of War 2018 and God of War Ragnarok. I'm weird though, okay? Like, there are certain themes for games and for movies, they make me feel something. Most of John Williams' music, right? The E.T. theme, the theme for Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Star Wars, the Jurassic Park music, the Harry Potter music, the Superman theme that John Williams did, the Batman theme that Danny Elfman did, Danny Elfman's Spider-Man theme. Like, there are certain themes for movies that they make me feel something, or make me feel a certain type of way, and I just love them. I'm the type of person that I will literally sit down and just listen to theme songs for movies, and I get enjoyment out of that. I'm fucking weird, okay? Maybe, I don't know if everybody's like that, but I certainly am. I will sit down and just fucking close my eyes and play the fucking music from Jurassic Park when they're fucking flying to the island. You know the one I'm fucking talking about, the fucking Bum 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 doom 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 ba da 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 dun 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 dun. Fucking love that song, okay? That makes me feel something. And God of War Ragnarok's music and God of War 2018's music does that same thing for me. And so for me, this is hands down God of War Ragnarok. Elden Ring could win. I think it would be between those two. I think Elden Ring could win this category, but I think Bear McCreary's scores are just far and above any of the other games on this list. And again, they're the ones that make me feel something. So that's why I'm choosing God of War Ragnarok. Next up is Best Art Direction for outstanding creative and or technical achievement in artistic design and animation. And the nominees are Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Scorn, and Stray. Listen, Stray, I love you, but I don't know why you're on this fucking list. Fuck outta here! Of the remaining ones, Elden Ring, God of War, Horizon, and Scorn. Scorn obviously has really creative visuals, and the theming and that H.R. Geiger-inspired design is really fucking cool. But again, look at what it's asking for. Outstanding creative and or technical achievement in artistic design and animation. Did Scorn have really cool designs? Sure. Animations? Not so much. Off the list it goes. Elden Ring, God of War, and Horizon. And listen, for me, it's going to be between God of War and Horizon. I know right away you're going to have fucking Elden Ring fanboys like, me, look at the fucking design of the world, man. Elden Ring's got some of the fucking greatest artistic design in the world, man. It does. Elden Ring has some awesome design shit. But doesn't have the best animation, okay? For me, God of War and Horizon are the ones that have the best of both, okay? They have some of the best design and some of the best animation. Elden Ring, not so much. And, you know, FromSoft games are not known for their animations. And I'm not trying to take anything away from Elden Ring. I think the overall design of the world and characters and shit's fantastic. But I think if we're looking at technical achievement and artistic design and animation, it's got the design part, it doesn't have the animation part. I think Ragnarok and Horizon have both. If we're really being fair, and I think of the two, again, it's going to be God of War. Horizon's a fucking great game, and poor Horizon, because I think had this been any other year where Horizon was by itself without God of War there also, I think Horizon would have a better chance of winning a lot of these awards. But I think that in a lot of these categories, God of War is just the better game compared to Horizon. God of War edges out Horizon in all these different categories, for me personally. And that would include this category here. So for me, it's going to be God of War Ragnarok. I can see a situation, though, where Elden Ring wins. I can see a situation where Scorn wins. I can see a situation where Horizon wins. Stray, not so much. But I can see a situation where these other games do win. But I think if we're looking for the one that's got the best technical achievement in artistic design and animation, for me, it's God of War. I'm sorry if that pisses off the Elden Ring fanboys, but it is. For me. Moving on. Next up is Best Narrative for Outstanding Storytelling and Narrative Development in a Game. And the nominees are A Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, and Immortality. Didn't play Immortality, off the list it goes. Of the remaining games, listen, let's be honest. Elden Ring being on this list is kind of a joke, because there is almost no narrative in Elden Ring. And listen, I'm not saying that there's no narrative, period. What I'm saying is, of all the people that played Elden Ring, ask them to tell you the story of Elden Ring. And only 2% would be able to tell you the story of Elden Ring, and I guarantee you that their recollection of the story wouldn't even be the same. You know what I'm saying? Only 2% of all the people that played Elden Ring could tell you the story, and I guarantee you when they told you what the story was, it wouldn't even be the same. There'd be differences between their stories, because Elden Ring is the type of game where the narrative is you have to read little fucking pieces of paper on the ground and put the story together yourself. So I don't see how a game like Elden Ring could even be nominated for this category. Doesn't make sense to this here. Again, not trying to take anything away from Elden Ring. It's just, for me, it's disqualified from this category because the storytelling is you having to put the story together yourself. Now, of the remaining three, Plague Tale Requiem, God of War, and Horizon, Plague Tale is, again, it's a good game. It's not to the level of God of War and Horizon, and I think that's true with the story as well. I think the story and narrative in God of War and Horizon is better than a Plague Tale Requiem. And then between those two, I think it's got to be God of War. God of War's story, for me, it constantly went places I wasn't expecting. It was making me think that we're going to go and do one thing, and then we did something else. The story was constantly surprising me, and constantly had me guessing as to what we're going to do. Like, it wasn't something where you could see what was going to happen from a mile away, and I really appreciated that about the game. The story in Horizon was good, but not as good as Zero Dawn. I think the story in Zero Dawn was better than the story in Forbidden West, although it was good. But for me, it's got to be the story in Ragnarok. I really, really enjoyed that story. And like I said, it was a story and a narrative where you couldn't guess where it was going, where it kept you guessing, where it kept you on your toes. And it wasn't something where you're like, yeah, I see what's happening. Oh, yeah, I'm going to guess what's going to happen next. Because even if you did guess what was going to happen next, you're going to be wrong. So for me, God of War Ragnarok had the best narrative of these games. Best Game Direction, awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. Nominees are Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Immortality, and Stray. Again, didn't play Immortality, off the list. Stray, not sure why it's even here, off the list. It's going to be between Elden Ring, God of War, and Horizon, and I think for game direction, again, it's got to go to God of War. They again do that no-cut camera that they used in 2018, and some of the transitions, man, from cutscenes where there are certain transitions in God of War Ragnarok, if you haven't played it, where it goes from you being in one place to a completely different place, but without cutting the camera, and it's done seamlessly, and the way the transitions are done, it's so fucking cool. And then just, the way that the scenes are done, the cinematography, God of War Ragnarok, and the way that it handles cutscenes, and it's just, it is far and above the other games. And again, not to take anything away from them, I think Elden Ring and Horizon Forbidden West have great game direction. But God of War, the way it's made, and I think it's specifically because of the way it's made, right? It just inherently has better game direction. Because of the type of game it is, because of the way that it was made, it has better game direction. It just does. Elden Ring has cutscenes every now and then, but those cutscenes aren't to the level, again, they don't have the same cinematography that God of War does. Horizon doesn't have the same cinematography that God of War does. It's on another level. It really is. And again, some of those transitions, fucking so cool the way that it's done. And, it's gonna be God of War Ragnarok for me. Sorry. And here we are at the fucking big one, Game of the Year. Recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields. And the nominees are A Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Sorry, Xenoblade, I have not played you, so off the list. Stray, listen, man, I don't know why Stray got nominated for Game of the Year. This is like fucking 2016 when Celeste got nominated for Game of the Year, and I was like, that fucking Super Meat Boy fucking clone? Get the fuck out of here. Stray has no business being on this list. Was it a good game? Sure. But it has no business being on a list for Game of the Year with games like Plague Tale Requiem Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, and Horizon Forbidden West. Let's be real. Even Plague Tale has no business being there. Okay? Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, and Horizon Forbidden West are the only ones that really have any business being there. And of those three, let's be real, there are only two possibilities here. There's a reason why my video had the intro it had. This is a battle between God of War Ragnarok and Elden Ring. This is Elden Ring, made by From Software, a Japanese studio. Godzilla versus God of War Ragnarok, made by Sony Santa Monica Studios, the American studio King Kong. It is literally King Kong versus Godzilla. And it could be either of them. On any day, I could see King Kong winning this. On any day, I could see Godzilla winning this. It could go either way. For me, and I think my choice is probably obvious by now, for me it would be God of War Ragnarok. Just because I think it is the better game. I loved Elden Ring. I put way over 100 hours into Elden Ring. Elden Ring and the exploration in it and just the go anywhere, do anything you want, doesn't hold your hands, and we're not going to say shit. You go off into the world and experience whatever you experience, and you never know what's going to be around the next corner. I love that aspect of that game. I love Elden Ring. It is one of my most favorite From Software games. Probably one of my most favorite games I played this year and even in a long time. But for me, God of War Ragnarok is just the better game. And again, if we're looking at what it's asking for, the game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields. For me, if we're looking at the different categories, okay, which one has better character models? God of War. Which one has better animations? God of War. Which one has better music? Again, for me, that's God of War. Which one has better combat? For me, even though the combat in Elden Ring is great, for me, that's God of War. Which one has better particle effects? God of War. Which one has better boss fights? That's probably Elden Ring. But if you go down the list of technical fields, not which one did you have more fun playing, because I think for a lot of people, they would have had more fun playing Elden Ring. For me, I had more fun playing God of War. But if we're not looking at which one did you have more fun playing, because that's not what it's asking for. And I know that a lot of people are going to pick Elden Ring because that's the one they had more fun playing. If we're looking at which one had the best experience across all creative and technical fields, I can't see a case made where Elden Ring is the better game. If it was asking Game of the Year based on which one you had more fun playing, I could easily see Elden Ring being that one. And regardless of what it is, even with what they're asking for here, I can still easily see Elden Ring winning, Game of the Year. But if they were asking for the game that you had the most fun playing, in that case, I can really see Elden Ring winning. But based on the criteria that they're setting, based on what they're asking for, I believe that God of War is the better game in most of the creative fields, not all, but in technical fields, definitely in technical fields. Like as much fun as I had playing Elden Ring, you never heard anyone saying, oh shit, man, Elden Ring has some of the best graphics I've ever seen in a video game. Oh man, Elden Ring has some of the best animations I've ever seen in a video game. Oh man, Elden Ring has some of the best environmental effects I've ever seen in a video game. Oh man, Elden Ring has some of the best facial animations I've ever seen in a video game. Oh man, Elden Ring has some of the best voice acting I've ever seen in a video game. Like, none of that shit really happens with Elden Ring. Some of the best open world exploration in a video game? Fuck yes, all day, every day. Probably the best open world exploration in a video game, period. But all these other categories? No. Because it is really just a Souls game, a traditional Souls game that they made open world, and there's nothing wrong with that. And that's not a dig at the game. To say that Elden Ring is just Dark Souls but open world is not a dig at the game. It's just what the game is. So for me, God of War does a lot of things, most things, better and to a level that is just different than Elden Ring. Elden Ring is a fucking fantastic game. It's an exceptional game, an incredibly fun game. But does it do all these things to the same level that God of War does? All these technical things? I don't think so. Like, in many of these technical categories, God of War is reaching exceptional heights. Exceptional. Elden Ring isn't. And that's not to take anything away from Elden Ring. I know this is going to piss off Elden Ring fanboys. But if we're being honest here, as fun as Elden Ring is, as amazing as the open world is, as fun as the open world exploration is, as great as the boss fights are, in all these technical categories, it is not to the level of God of War. And to be fair, Elden Ring is a fully open world game. God of War Ragnarok is a semi-open world game where they can really take the time to put the extra polish on all these things. Right? I don't ever expect full open world games to be on the level as mostly linear games. It's just not going to happen. But it's not my fault that Elden Ring is a fully open world game and God of War isn't. It's not my fault that they were able to put more polish into all these aspects of God of War that they couldn't do in Elden Ring because it's this huge open world game. Also, let's be real, Souls games have never been known for these things, nor have they aspired to be these things, right? Elden Ring isn't trying to be the game with the best animations, isn't trying to be the game with the best this, with the best that. They're not trying to. They're just trying to be the game with the fun combat and the difficult boss fights that punish you, but when you beat that boss, you feel so damn good. That they're trying to be a different type of game than God of War is. And unfortunately for them, in trying to be that type of game, it means that they're not going to be as good in all of these technical categories. I'm not saying that Elden Ring couldn't be. I'm just saying that Elden Ring, they're not interested in doing that. That's not what they were trying to do. When they made God of War, Sony Santa Monica was trying to be the best at all these things. It's trying to be the industry leader in all of these categories. Elden Ring didn't give a fuck about that. From Software doesn't give a fuck about that. If we're being honest. So, for me, and again, long story short, this was a really long explanation. For me, it's gotta be God of War. For those reasons. Not to take anything away from Elden Ring. And if Elden Ring wins, I could easily see that happening and understand why. I could. Because it was a fantastic game that so many people around the world loved. Especially considering that it is a multi-platform game. So whereas God of War was only enjoyed by people on PlayStation, Elden Ring was enjoyed by everybody. And that could impact whether or not Elden Ring wins Game of the Year. But again, for me, it's got to be God of War for the reasons I listed. And again, if we're looking at what they're asking for, God of War is the winner. It is. Will it be? I don't know. But it's going to be either Elden Ring or God of War. That's all I know. That's all I know is it's going to be one of those two. If another one of those games wins, again, I will stand up and run around my house even though I am a fucking paraplegic. Because that's how sure I am that it will either be Elden Ring or God of War. And hey, if Elden Ring wins, I'm cool with that. I'm happy with that. Because I love Elden Ring. I had so much fun with Elden Ring. But for me, it's God of War. It just is. I love God of War. I think it's one of the best games I've ever played. For me, the best game of this generation so far. I think Sony Santa Monica did a fantastic job. And I'm super excited for whatever they're going to do next. And same with From Software. I'm super excited for whatever From Software game is made next. Because I'm hoping that they use this same formula going forward. Like, I hope that whatever they do next, that it is another open world game like Elden Ring, because it did elevate the Souls formula to new heights. And it's hard going back to the old formula of Souls games, right? Like, I love Sekiro. Sekiro was my favorite Souls-born game. But after playing Elden Ring, it's going to be hard to go back to Sekiro. Like, I think the combat of Sekiro is better. But man, that open world exploration of Elden Ring, it is special. It really is. And there is no argument with that. I will never argue against how special the open world exploration in Elden Ring is. But even with how special it is, for me, it's God of War. And I'm going to stop rambling, because at this point I am just fucking rambling. I'm rambling and just repeating the same thing like you guys right now. Fucking Nova, we get it, Nova. You want God of War to win, we get it. Shut the fuck up and end the video. You told us God of War was going to win 30 minutes ago. Stop repeating yourself, asshole. So, yeah, for me, God of War is my choice for Game of the Year. I hope it does win, but if Elden Ring wins, I'm cool with that too. So those are my choices for the Game Awards 2022. And that's all I got for you guys on this one. And that's the video, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments. And tell me what you guys chose down in the comments. And do me a favor, if you're going to say that you chose this game or that game over what I chose, don't just write, I picked this. Tell me why. Explain why, because I'm interested in knowing what you guys chose and the reason why you chose those games. Don't just tell me what you chose. Explain to me why. I'm really interested in what you guys are thinking when it comes to this. And as always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys on the next SupaNova.